will you be communicating with other women?
I just don't want to say the wrong word.
I literally had to pause the video because my hands were shaking. Picture this, the camera's zooming in shaky, the air in that Vegas hotel room is thick enough to choke on, and Natalie's just standing there, calm as ice on the outside, but you can see her whole world cracking behind those eyes. No screaming, no glass shattering on the floor, just her grabbing her bag and saying, "I just want to go home," in that quiet Ukrainian accent that cuts deeper than any shout ever could. Gino's right behind her, stumbling over his words like, "Natalie, wait, what are you doing? Where are you going?" His face is all panic, but it's too late. She's already halfway down the hall, footsteps echoing like every broken promise he's ever made. This is the moment Gino got exposed again, and Natalie walked out for good after the brutal truth finally hit. We're digging through every deleted scene, every raw confessional, and every piece of footage TLC tried to bury, so if you're obsessed with this kind of real-deal 90-day fiancé drama like I am, hit subscribe right now and turn on those notifications. We're in this mess together, fam, and trust me, you don't want to miss what comes next before it gets yanked offline. It all started with Gino thinking he could rewrite the script on his messy past, you know. After that wild blow-up with Jasmine at the family birthday party, the one where Jasmine straight up called Natalie a whore from Vegas, and things got physical, with both women having to be pulled apart, Gino swore he was turning over a new leaf. He flew out to see Natalie, his ex-turned-maybe future, the woman he'd already put through the ringer with his green card drama, his controlling vibes, and all those years of back and forth. This weekend was supposed to be their fresh start, their test. Gino even planned this cute little escape room date, like some romantic gesture to prove he was all in. They laughed, they solved puzzles together, Natalie even said in her confessional they made a good team. For a second, it felt like maybe, just maybe, the cycles were breaking. But here's where it starts to twist, guys. Back at that potluck earlier in the trip, everything was supposed to be chill. Gino's hanging with Natalie's friends, small talk flowing, when her buddy Mel hits him with a question point blank, "Are you talking to any other women right now?" Gino doesn't deny it. He fumbles out, "Some girls are writing me because they know my marriage is over." Just like that, casual, no big deal in his mind. But Natalie, she finds out later from her friend, not from him. He knew she was right there, waiting for him to come clean, and he let the whole day slip by without a word. No, "Hey, babe, heads up about these messages." No honesty, just silence. The kind of avoidance that eats away at trust like acid. And let's be real, this isn't new with Gino. We've watched him do this dance before, hiding details, to protect her feelings, rationalizing every omission as no big thing. Remember how he dragged Natalie through all that early relationship chaos? The fights over money, the family drama, the way he'd shut down instead of facing the hard conversations. It was never one big betrayal like cheating in the classic sense. No, it was the slow poison of delayed honesty, the way he'd evade and deflect until the trust just evaporated. Natalie had been burned by it once already. That's why this weekend was her test. She was waiting, hoping he'd volunteer the truth about those other women, prove he'd learned. Hoping he'd look her in the eye and say, "It's only you." Wait, but it gets worse. Because after the escape room high, they sit down for what should have been a real talk. Natalie looks him dead in the face, voice steady but her hands trembling just a little, and asks the question that's been burning her up inside, "What is a committed relationship to you? Do you want that with me? I just don't really know how real your intentions are with me because I'm not sure whether I have your full attention when I'm not around in person. Will you be communicating with other women?" The room goes quiet. Gino hesitates. Stammers. I just don't want to say the wrong word. That's it. No clear yes. No, hell no, it's only you. Just this vague dance around the truth, like he's still keeping one foot out the door. You can see it hit Natalie like a truck. Her eyes well up, tears start falling, and she stands up mid-sentence. "I want to go home," she says, grabbing her stuff. No yelling. No throwing things. Just that heartbreaking walkout, door clicking shut behind her while Gino chases after her in the hallway, begging for another chance he doesn't deserve. We've all been there, haven't we? That gut punch moment in a relationship where you finally ask for the full truth, and instead of straight up honesty, you get hesitation and half answers. It makes you feel so small, so disposable, like you're not even worth the effort of being real with. For so many of us in the States, whether it's that boyfriend who forgets to mention his late-night texts or the partner who swears everything's fine while dodging every hard convo, it's the same slow erosion. You love them, you want to believe, but those little evasions, they stack up until you're the one walking out the door, questioning if you ever really knew them at all. Natalie's pain hits different because we've lived it. She's not some reality TV villain, she's every woman who's been gaslit by silence. But hold up, because right when you think that's the brutal truth, there's this one piece of evidence that changes everything. The thing Natalie had been sensing, the missing link that made her test him in the first place. We're talking about the full picture of Gino's patterns, the way his avoidance wasn't just a slip-up, it was calculated. He knew those messages were coming in. He knew Natalie deserved to hear it from him first. And yet, he chose the easy route, the same one he'd taken with Jasmine, the same one that tanked their first go-round. Fans on Reddit are losing their minds over it, posting theories left and right. One thread's blowing up. Gino's not avoiding because he's scared, he's addicted to the ego boost of keeping options open. It's why he agreed to that open marriage mess with Jasmine in the first place instead of fixing the real issues. Another fan theory, he's repeating the exact playbook from his past relationships, delayed honesty until the woman walks, then acts shocked. Wait, it gets worse, because this wasn't some one-off. This is Gino Exposed Again, same guy, same games, just a new city and a new chance. The tension kept building that whole weekend, you could feel it in every confessional. Natalie pouring her heart out about how she needs full attention, how she can't do the back and forth anymore after everything they've survived. Gino nodding along, but never quite landing on the words she needed. And let's not forget the bigger shadow hanging over them, the Jasmine drama that refused to die. Remember how Gino didn't fully disclose that recent sit-down or drinks or whatever it was with his ex-wife before Natalie even got there? He let her walk into that party blind, thinking he was all hers, when the toxic ties were still tangled. It was never about one act of cheating. It was the concealment, the rationalizing, the "I'll tell her later," that turned love into a battlefield of doubts. Natalie didn't explode like some reality stars do. She didn't throw a drink or storm off in a rage-fueled rant. She just broke. Quietly. Devastatingly. In her confessional, she laid it bare. This weekend was a test for Gino, and I am really sad to say that he failed. He failed miserably. You hear the exhaustion in her voice, the finality. She's done letting the evasions chip away at her self-worth. Done feeling like second place to his fear of real commitment. And as she walks down that hallway, suitcase wheels rumbling, Gino's pleas fading behind her, you realize this isn't just another 90-day breakup. This is the moment the patterns caught up to him for good. But here's the one piece of evidence that flips the entire story, the internet breaking twist that's got everyone from Reddit to the comments sections in full meltdown mode. Turns out, those girls writing him weren't just innocent fans or random DMs. Leaked screenshots and cast insider whispers, the kind that always surface after these episodes drop, show Gino wasn't passively receiving messages. He was engaging, flirty replies, keeping conversations alive, even hinting at meetups while he was literally on the plane to see Natalie. One message, timestamped right before the escape room, straight up says something like he's not ready to shut doors yet, because relationships are complicated. He knew. He chose not to tell her. Not because he was protecting her, but because admitting it would force him to pick. And Gino, he picked the safety of evasion every single time. That's the brutal truth that made her walk. Not the other women. The way he hid them, rationalized them, and let the trust die in the silence. Natalie didn't just walk out of that room. She walked out of the cycle. Out of the years of feeling small, of waiting for honesty that never came on time. And Gino, he's left standing there, exposed again, with the same old pattern staring him in the face. No more hiding behind, "I don't want to say the wrong word." The footage doesn't lie, and neither does the pain in her eyes. So what do you think, fam? Is Gino capable of breaking this cycle, or is Natalie right to finally choose herself and walk away for good? Is it the avoidance that kills relationships, or do we owe it to love to give one more chance? Drop your hottest take in the comments right now, Team Natalie or Team Give Gino another shot. If this hit you in the feels like it did me, smash that like button, subscribe for more raw 90-day exposes like this, and comment your wildest Reddit theories. I'll be reading every single one. See you in the next one, where the drama only gets juicier. Peace.
What do you think? Comment below. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.